Greetings, everybody. Welcome back to Weekly Wildlife Wisdom. And so far, I've been your host, Zero Yeti. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it with the first animal of the week being the saltwater crocodile, Crocodilus porosus, also known as the estuarine crocodile, the indo-pacific crocodile, the marine crocodile, the sea crocodile, or the salty. It is a large species of crocodilian has a wide range throughout India, Southeast Asia, Australia, and Micronesia. Here they tend to inhabit coastal lagoons, wetlands, deltas, estuaries, mangroves, swamps, rivers, and freshwater lakes. These moderately social yet extremely aggressive crocodilians feed on a wide variety of prey, including invertebrates, fish, amphibians, reptiles, birds, and various mammals, from as small as bats to as large as gar. Saltwater crocodiles exhibit a high degree of sexual dimorphism, with males often reaching 4 to 5 times the size of females. They also are on average the largest crocodilian, or living crocodilian, with the biggest males reaching 18 to 23 feet, or 5.5 to 7 meters in length, and 2,000 to 3,300 pounds, or 900 to 1,500 kilograms in weight. In comparison, female saltwater crocodiles tend to get around 8 to 14 feet, or 2.5 to 4.3 meters in length, and 165 to 1,000 pounds, or 75 to 455 kilograms in weight. Both sexes have broader snouts and bodies compared to other crocodile species, with a pair of ridges that run from their eyes along to the center of the snout. Their coloration is generally tan to greenish-gray in color, but there is variation amongst different populations, with some appearing a yellowish tint, or others are almost black in coloration. Like the American crocodile, saltwater crocodiles sport salt glands on their heads that can secrete excess salt, allowing them to drink salt water. Saltwater crocodiles have the highest bite force of any animal recorded at 16,414 newtons, or 3,690 pounds of force. Breeding occurs during the wet season. During such time, a male saltwater crocodile will approach a female in its territory. If she lets him get near, the two will court by rubbing their heads together before mating underwater. The pregnant female will carry the eggs with her for around 1 to 2 months before building a nest on the edge of a tidal river or a lagoon and laying the clutch inside. She will guard them fiercely for 80 to 98 days, at which point the young crocodiles will hatch and be cared for the first 8 months of their lives by their mother. It is at this point they become large enough to become independent, and females will reach sexual maturity around 12 years of age, while males will reach sexual maturity around 16. Under ideal conditions, a saltwater crocodile may live upwards of 70 years. Next up, we have the giant anteater, which is an insectivorous mammal in the genus Myriomecophaga, which is native to Central and South America from as far north as Honduras to as far south as Argentina. Here they generally are solitary animals which inhabit rainforests, dry forests, grasslands, and shrublands, and they feed primarily upon ants, termites, beetles and their larvae, as well as honeybees, using their long, flexible, sticky tongues. Reaching some 6 to 7 feet, or 182 to 217 centimeters in length, and 60 to 110 pounds, or 27 to 50 kilograms in weight, the giant anteater is by far the largest of the 4 species of anteater alive today. It is also tied for the position of the largest extant xenarthran, only being rivaled by the giant armadillo. The giant anteater has a distinctive appearance with a long tubular snout, small eyes and ears, stocky limbs, and long, powerful claws, a coarse mane, and a thick, bushy tail. They also have a characteristic pattern across their bodies: white front legs, gray muzzle, and a black strip across their chest, throat, shoulders, with a bristly black to brown tail and mane. Mating occurs year-round, and when two meet up to mate, they perform courtship rituals and spend several days up to several weeks mating, traveling, and foraging together. After a 190-day pregnancy, a mother will give birth to a single pup. Newborns climb onto their mother's back and are carried around by her for the first few weeks of their life. They begin to eat ants and termites around 3 months old and are fully weaned by 10 months. At this age, they will leave their mother and become independent. Under ideal conditions, the giant anteater will sexually mature around 2.5 to 4 years of age and may live up to 30. I'm having a hard time breathing. One moment. And next up, we have the North American beaver, also known as the Canadian beaver or the American beaver. It is a large semi-aquatic rodent, one of only 2 extant beaver species, which, along with the Eurasian beaver, make up the genus Castor. They are endemic to the forested lakes and wetlands, as well as the streams and river deltas of North America. They've also been introduced to Chile, Argentina, Finland, Russia, Germany, Luxembourg, Poland, and Belgium. Beavers usually mate for life, forming familial colonies, which typically consist of said mated pair and their young adult offspring, as well as a litter of kits from that year and the occasional grown sibling. Beavers are herbivorous animals which feed on a variety of woody plants such as trees, bushes, and shrubs, as well as on fruit, seeds, and aquatic plants including reeds, cattails, and water lilies. Beavers are preyed upon by wolves, coyotes, mountain lions, wolverines, bears, alligators, lynx, bobcats, foxes, golden eagles, and bald eagles. They are famous for building dams, which they use to create ponds or areas of deep water in lakes and rivers that in turn give the animals a refugium from both the elements and most predators. Said dams are created using branches, rocks, grass, and mud. In addition to dams, beavers also create lodges, complex hollow structures made from the same materials as their dams, which are surrounded on all sides by water, but have one or more underwater entrances that lead to an insulated above-water denning chamber, where said beavers rest, recover, and raise their young. Interestingly, beavers sometimes share these lodges with muskrats, so long as the muskrats help to build and maintain said lodge with mud and reeds. Beavers are also known to create specialized food caches which are often underwater and buried in the mud or underneath rocks, allowing the beavers to feed without having to leave the safety of the water. Averaging around 36 to 50 inches, or 91 to 127 centimeters in length, and 25 to 70 pounds, or 11 to 32 kilograms in weight, they are North America's largest rodent and the second largest rodent on Earth, following the capybara. It has a large, flat, paddle-shaped tail and large webbed hind feet with smaller but highly dexterous front feet. They sport a thick double coat of well-insulating fur that is typically brown, red, or tan in color, and they possess small ears and eyes, a black nose high on the snout, and large, pronounced front teeth. The mating season occurs from December to March, with mothers giving birth to 1 to 4 kits after a 3-month pregnancy. The young are fully weaned by 3 months but remain with their parents' colony until they are around 2 to 4 years of age. Under ideal conditions, the North American beaver will sexually mature around 2 years and may live up to 19. Next up, we have Crocodiles australis, also known as the Lord Howe Island stick insect or the tree lobster. It is a species of stick insect native to the Lord Howe Island group and is the only member of the monotypic genus Crocodiles. Although they were thought to be extinct when it was exacerbated from Lord Howe Island itself in 1920, it was rediscovered in 2001 when a population of just 24 individuals was found living on the small island of Ball's Pyramid. These stick insects were once very common on Lord Howe Island, where they were frequently collected by fishing vessels to be used as bait, but they were believed to have gone extinct after the supply ship, the SS Macambo, ran aground on the island in 1918, allowing black rats, which is the primary predator of Lord Howe Island stick insect, to become established. After 1920, no stick insect could be found, and in 1964, a team of climbers visiting the towering sea stack known as Ball's Pyramid discovered the recently deceased corpse of one of these stick insects. However, it wouldn't be until 2001 when an expedition to find whether any population persisted on the pyramid was launched by David Priddle and Nicholas Carlisle. The team discovered some 24 individuals living under a single Melaleuca shrub, 330 feet or 100 meters above the sea. In 2003, a research team from New South Wales National Parks and Wildlife Service returned to Ball's Pyramid and collected 2 breeding pairs. After initial difficulties, captive breeding was achieved, and now there are over 13,000 individuals within captive breeding programs occurring on Melbourne, Bristol, San Diego, and the Toronto zoos, as well as a special rat-free habitat on Lord Howe Island itself. Reaching up to 8 inches long or 20 centimeters in length, around 1 ounce or 25 grams in weight, the Lord Howe Island stick insect is a large, flightless, nocturnal insect which has a stout body, long, sturdy legs, and they lack wings. Females have a broad abdomen with an ovipositor, while males are more slender and have longer, thicker antennae and large hind legs. Juveniles, called nymphs, are typically bright green for the first few months of their life and are active during the day. Adults, meanwhile, are dark to a glossy brown-black. They are a social and herbivorous species which feeds on leaves, buds, fruit, living together in groups of upwards of a dozen individuals. Unusual for most insects, these stick insects form bonded pairs that mate for life. Females lay up to 300 eggs in the soil, where she carefully buries said eggs, which hatch around 6 to 9 months later. The young will reach around 7 months of age, and under ideal conditions, the Lord Howe Island stick insect may live upwards of 2 years. And next up, we have the sacred ibis, or the African sacred ibis, Thoresciornis anthiopicatus, is a species of ibis in the wading bird family Thoresciornithidae, which is native throughout Africa as well as Iraq, Iran, and Kuwait. They've also been introduced throughout much of southern Europe, Taiwan, and Florida, or not ancient Egyptian the religion, where it is linked as a symbol and representative of the god of knowledge, wisdom, writing, science, and mathematics, Thoth. These diurnal and social birds live in flocks of 2 to 20, inhabiting marshes, wetlands, and mudflats, both inland and on the coast. They feed primarily upon insects, worms, crustaceans, mollusks, and other invertebrates, as well as seeds, eggs, fairies, fish, frogs, reptiles, small mammals, and carrion. The sacred ibis are themselves preyed upon by crocodiles, lizards, and birds of prey, particularly the African fish eagle. Reaching around 25-28 inches, or 63.5 to 71 centimeters in length, and 2.5 to 3.5 pounds, or 1.1 to 1.6 kilograms in weight, with a 44 to 50 inch, or 112 to 124 centimeter wingspan, sacred ibises are a mid-sized bird, with males typically being smaller than females. The neck, bald head, thick curved bill, and legs are black in coloration, while the plumage is generally white, except for black rear borders on the wings. The breeding season lasts from March to August in Africa and from April to May in the Middle East. During such time, these birds gather in colonies up to 1,000 strong. A mated pair of sacred ibises will construct a stick nest in the branches of tall trees such as baobabs or atop abandoned buildings or rocky islands. Here, females will lay 1 to 5 eggs per season, incubated by both parents for 21-29 days. After hatching, the chicks fledge some 35 to 40 days and are independent by 44 to 48 days later. Reaching sexual maturity at around 1 to 5 years of age, and under ideal conditions, a sacred ibis may live up to 20 years. Next up is Dicotylemyctere nigroviidis, with the synonym Tetroodon nigroviidis. Sorry, I'm butchering that. They are better known as the green spot pufferfish or the green spotted puffer. It is a species of pufferfish which is native throughout much of Southeast Asia, including the countries of India, Sri Lanka, Myanmar, Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, Malaysia, Indonesia, and the Philippines. Here they inhabit freshwater rivers, streams, and floodplains, as well as brackish wetlands and deltas, as well as marine coastal lagoons and mangrove forests. They are primarily solitary and territorial fish, which feeds upon snails and other mollusks, as well as crustaceans, aquatic insects, worms, carrion, and aquatic plants. Reaching some 3.9 to 6.7 inches, or 10 to 17 centimeters in length. They sport a short oval-shaped body with a white belly, light green fins and tail, and the back and head are darker green with black spotting. The green spot puffer has the smallest known vertebrate genome at roughly 340 million base pairs and is often utilized as a model organism for geneticists. The flesh of the green spot puffer contains the deadly neurotoxin tetrodotoxin. You think after saying that several dozen times, I get it right the first try. Of which there is no known antidote, and when ingested in significant quantities, it can cause paralysis and death. These fish will only spawn in brackish water, and after mating, a female will lay her eggs directly onto a rock or substrate. Said eggs will be guarded by a male until they hatch some 7 days later, and afterward a male will dig a pit in the substrate and move the young there, where he will continue to guard, raise, and feed them until they are strong enough to settle on their own. Under ideal conditions, the green spot puffer will sexually mature around 5 years of age and live up to 20. And our extinct organism of the week is Corythosaurus, a genus of hadrosaurid duck-billed dinosaur which lived throughout what is now North America during the Campanian age of the late Cretaceous period, some 77 to 75 million years ago. The first fossil remains of Corythosaurus, consisting of a near-complete skeleton, which remarkably included much of the creature's skin and organs, was unearthed in 1911 by Barnum Brown in the Red Deer River of Alberta, Canada. Here, Brown would also find a second well-preserved specimen in 1914. Using these two specimens, Brown would describe, name, and establish a new type species, Corythosaurus cassowaris, whose name is derived from the Greek Corythos, meaning Corinthian helmet, and means helmeted lizard, with the specific name cassowaris referring to the cassowary, a bird with a similar skull crest. These two specimens now currently reside at the American Museum of Natural History. Since then, several more Corythosaurus remains have been recovered, including 2 complete skeletons, which were unfortunately lost on December 6, 1916. When they were being transported on the SS Mount Temple to I think it was the British Museum, and the SS Mount Temple was sank by the German merchant raider SMS Mo during World War I. Today, 2 species of Corythosaurus are considered valid, C. cassowaris and C. intermedius, reaching some 25 to 30 feet or 7.7 to 9 meters in length and 5,600 to 7,000 pounds or 2,500 to 3,200 kilograms in weight. Corythosaurus is distinguished from other hadrosaurs by its comparatively short skull with narrow beak and high helmet-like crest. In life, Corythosaurus would have lived in tight-knit herds and fulfilled the niche of mixed general browser, feeding upon conifer needles, ferns, seeds, twigs, and fruit. As always, take care to my guys, gals, non-binary pals. Have a wonderful day.